What's going on, guys? I know a lot of people, especially because we live in a mental health awareness age where, we want to talk about our feelings. We don't want to suppress anything, because we've oftentimes gotten used to just feeling everything and sleeping in our feelings. So, one of the questions that I've often encountered, and I've even asked myself this question, is are we always supposed to feel good? Are we always supposed to feel positive emotions? And whenever we encounter a negative emotion, that we are supposed to just think everything's going haywire, and maybe I'm depressed, maybe I'm anxious, maybe I should go see a therapist, maybe I have blah blah blah. You start going on Google and trying to self-diagnose, which I don't know why anybody would do that. That is actually the stupidest thing that anybody can do, because you're not an expert and you can't diagnose yourself. You don't know how to do that. So, are we supposed to constantly run away from our negative emotions? No, right? Are negative emotions normal? Are negative thoughts normal? Oftentimes, yes, they are actually. Um, I would be very concerned, I would go that far, if you tell me that you never feel any negative emotions. You never feel any sort of negative thoughts come into your head. Um, that's not normal, right? Just like it's not normal to never feel anything positive or to never think anything positive, right? And so what are we supposed to do when we encounter those negative thoughts and those negative feelings? Well, the first thing that you can do is, instead of resist, right, which is what most people instinctively, that's what they do, right? Whenever they encounter a negative emotion, what do? They resist it, right? They try to put up a fight. They try to move from the negative and go to the positive. For every negative thought, I want you to think a positive thought, right? And while that is helpful, I'm not trying to downplay that, but you can't always do that, right? Because the way that the brain is wired is to be constantly thinking, right? So the way that you're fighting this battle is the wrong way. Oftentimes, the best ways to fight this battle is to accept the current condition that you are in. So when you're feeling negative, instead of just looking for the next thing to distract you or to help you to run away or take some sort of solace, instead of doing that, why don't you just sit there and accept the emotion? This doesn't mean entertain the emotion. Notice how I didn't say that, right? Because a lot of people say, okay, well, this is how I'm feeling right now. I'm angry, so I'm just going to keep getting angry, express my anger. No, that is not what I'm saying. Doing that is only going to lead you to amplify and increase your negative emotions. Instead, what you're meant to do is you are supposed to accept the fact that you are feeling the things that you feel in that moment. So let's just say right now, if I feel angry, right, or if I feel depressed, instead of trying to figure out a way to get out of it, right, what I need to do is just accept it, first of all. Not accept anger or accept depression, but accept the fact that you do feel those things in that moment, right? And once you're able to do that, you're actually training yourself to be okay with whatever emotions that you feel, right? So, because if you're only having a preference for a certain kind of emotions, that's not normal. That's very abnormal. And so, what you're supposed to do is just allow yourself to be able to feel those emotions, because what happens to them? Eventually, they what? Go away. So, you don't have to do anything about them, right? You don't have to do anything to them. All you have to do is just accept and release. The release just happens naturally. You don't have to always talk about everything. There's a time and a place for everything, right? The Bible talks about that in Ecclesiastes chapter 3. There's a time for everything under the sun. You can't just constantly be talking about your emotions. Although there is a good time to do that, like I mentioned. There's often times where just trying to do everything on your own is not helpful. And that's where you either talk to a friend, to a family member, to your spouse. You pray about it, you talk to a therapist about it, whatever you do, you talk to a pastor about it, it doesn't matter, right? But the point that I'm trying to make in this video is that oftentimes part of the solution is just accepting the fact that this is what you're feeling in that specific moment. And you have to be okay with that, because the world is not sunshine and rainbows, and if you're trying to make it into a world of sunshine and rainbows, then you're just setting yourself up for failure. And there's no sense in pretending that you're not feeling the things that you feel, but I would also say that there's no sense in you therefore amplifying that feeling and turning it into something that is bigger and more extreme than it should be, and that it is, right? Hopefully this video helps you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.